Life all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
Good morning. I'm going to welcome you back to another episode of the Account for Life podcast. Jay Moore, the healthy accountant, and today we're talking about what I'm doing to enhance my skills. I know you're like, what you're doing? What about me? Well, I'm just talking about me because I can't talk about you. I don't know necessarily what your plans are in your life, but I'm going to talk about what I'm doing. So let's jump right into this. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to just be in, the presence of a great person. This great person just happened to be my son. His name is Jacob Moore. Shout out to Jacob Moore, which he won't see this, but shout out to Jacob. He graduated from high school yesterday. It was his graduation day, and just watching the class, the people, everybody's excited. Everybody ready to move forward. Everybody's ready to do something different. They've been in high school for the last 4 years, but for Jacob, only 3 years. He did he did 3 years instead of 4. Like, how did that happen? I remember being in high school, seeing another one of my classmates. We started out, we were freshmen. And then when we went to sophomore year, she was a junior. I was like, how did you become a junior? I didn't even understand that. I'm like, you that smart that you could literally jump over the grade that we're supposed to be going in. I didn't. It almost felt like, man, that's not fair. At least that's what I thought. That's not fair. Well, life ain't fair, man. So Jacob skipped the grade. Now he's going off to college. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, we all get to a point in life where skills are going to be the most important thing that we possess. It's not necessarily going to be the degree we have. It's not necessarily going to be the experience that you have in the past. Here's what I'm talking about here. We're talking about skills. And when you get to the point in your life when you realize that skills is what I need to go to the next level. It's like me and my friend Shauna. Shout out to Shauna Bell. She is an incredible and awesome visionary. She had a vision for doing something different in her accounting and tax business, changed the game. And then, we met, and then all of a sudden 2 people with skills said, hey, well, why don't is there any way we can work together? Now, here's the thing. Here's what I'm noticing, that when you get around people, right? That's called proximity. When you get around people, what happens is you realize that, wow, they have a skill, I have a skill. But here's the thing. We're all going to have to enhance the skills that we have. It's no time to start trying to figure out to learn skills. When you get in that environment, you got to just say, what skill do I have? And I realized, I says, wow, we both have complementary skills. Even though we're both accountants, like, that's not even the thing that we're trying to focus most on. We know a lot about the accounting and tax business, but now it's taking, she's got a skill, I've got a skill, and then merging these skills together. Now, here's the thing. How does one enhance their skills? How do I enhance my skills? Here's how I personally enhance my skills. One, you got to do something. You know what? I've read a lot of books. And I'm going to tell you, that would be the first thing. If you read books, I've read June of 2021. Do you know I read 15 books in 1 month? 15 books in 1 month. I was testing my skill of endurance. I was testing. I says, can I read 15 books a month? It's kind of like, when I'm ready to kind of upload, I know I got to do something. It's got to actually hurt. And it's kind of like a few years ago when I said, I want to do 1,000 push-ups. Can I do that? read 15 books in a month, did 1,000 push-ups. Now I said, you know what? I have the skill of marketing. Can I really do that? And I said, you know what? I think I can. But here's the thing. How do you enhance your skill? How do I enhance my skill? You know what? I sat down. Last night I sat down. I said, I'm going to do something I haven't done. But I know how to do it. And I'm going to start doing it. Now, here's the thing. Our skills become masterful the more we do them. I'm going to say it again. Our skills become like we develop mastery the more that we do them. Shout out to Myron Golden. He's someone I've learned a lot from. Like just in proximity, I've gone to his challenges. I'm not in his inner circle yet, maybe one day. And what I discovered is that I've learned through being around him through different ways of, I guess learning from a mentor, that I picked up a skill. What skill? I picked up a way to present. I picked up a way to break down content. I picked up a way to read the Bible. I was like, wow. Like, whoa. So proximity is almost like, wow, you get around people who are better than you. That's the first thing. Get around people who are better than you at skills that you would like to master. Like if we were just going to end it right here, that's what you would do. Just get around people who are better than you at skills that you would like to master. Here's the thing. It won't take you as long. Like it'll almost feel like it happened overnight. It happened overnight. One day I was in the training with Myron and I'm just kind of taking in what he was doing. Just like the other week, I was in a training with Russell Brunson and Pedro Rodeo. And I was like, oh, now I see it. But here's the thing. If you don't get around people who are better than you, not you, me, I'm talking about me. I had to get around people who are way better than me. And then sometimes you just get around people who are just a little bit in front of you. I've learned things from people who were a little in front of me. I've learned things from people who are right next to me. I've learned things from people who do something totally different. I learned something from my son, Jacob, this week. I was taking orders from him. We were in the kitchen and he was making cookies and cakes and all these things. And he wanted me to help him do something. He says, Daddy, I want you to make this sauce for me. I said, okay, well, tell me what to do. I didn't say, well, let me do it my way. I said, well, tell me what you're going to do. And it's funny because a couple people was in the kitchen and it was like, they thought it was weird because I said, no, he's the authority. He's the authority on baking in this house. And so now I do have some authority, but here's the thing. I said, well, he's the authority on baking. It's what he's baking. So I'm not going to try and make it my way. I'm going to make it his way. How would you like for me to do this? And I learned something from him. It's not something that I didn't necessarily, I could have known it, but I don't use it for baking. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, all right, Jake. I did it just how he wanted. And he left the kitchen and I kind of finished it. I said, well, I had to go find him because he had gone upstairs. I said, let me go upstairs and take it to him so he could taste it. I said, hey, how does this taste? So he tasted it, right? Now, he's probably like, well, Daddy should know it tastes good. He says, what do you think? I said, I just want to make sure it tastes good to you because look, I'm making it for you. So sometimes when you want to enhance your skill, right, you got to know who has authority on something. I'm going to tell you what I got authority on. Now, I do have authority in the accounting and tax arena. Here's what I also have authority on: how to account for your life. I have authority on that. How do I have authority on that? Here's how. I'm going through a series of rigorous trainings and experiencing and challenges and problems and testings and all sorts of things. I had to I'm closing up my 6th year. June of 2017 is when I started doing something like this. I have an authority on Account for Your Life, but it did not start with Account for Your Life. It started with how can I enlighten myself? It was called the Enlightenment Series. And the Enlightenment Series was all about enlightening myself on, myself. And over a few years, I did about maybe 800 or 900 episodes of that, maybe 1,000. I did a lot. I wasn't even counting back then. And then one day it was like Account for Your Life. I was like, oh, I have some authority there. So here's the thing. You want to not you. I wanted to up-level my skills. I wanted to enhance my skill. I'm going to tell you what I did first. I prayed. I said, Lord, how can I enhance my skills? Not necessarily that way, but I did pray and ask God, well, Lord, I would like to get better. I would like to do something different. I would like to be me. I would like to be more. How can you, more, last name more, how could you help me to be me? He says, son, you are asking a good question. I'm going to tell you, God is blessed ever since. So what I'm doing to enhance my skills is staying around people who are skillful, one, also doing things that sometimes I have to take cues from other people. Somebody may know something. You know what? Tell me what to do. I don't know what I'm doing. That's what they say. You should always be like a little child, when it comes to learning something. So if you don't know something and you find someone that knows it, it doesn't matter if you are smart in something else. Just like Jacob, it didn't matter how much I knew about cooking. It's his recipe. So he has the authority. And I didn't try and circumvent his authority by saying, well, it should be this way. Just tell me what to do. So sometimes you get in a situation when it's time to enhance your skills, but you don't have authority. So you just got to sit there and listen, So I've sat under a number of people and I've read a number of books, but you know what? Here's the thing. That's all theory. That's all theory. Listen, theory doesn't get us anywhere. I'm going to tell you what gets us somewhere. Doing it. When we do it, we, just like Myron says, we don't get to learn anything until we do something. So I'm enhancing my skills by being the Account for Life guy, by doing the Account for Life podcast every day, by following my own life, by looking at all the things I have to account for, even mistakes that I've made, which I've made a ton of mistakes, and they come back and they let me know you made a mistake here. But you know what? That's life. No one's perfect. So that's what I'm doing to enhance my skills. Tell me what you're doing to enhance your skills. Leave that in the chat. Let me know what you're working on. Because look, if there's something you're doing that could help me, I'd love for you to help me. Guys, I appreciate you for joining me for this episode of the Account for Life podcast. I'm Jay Moore, the Healthy Accountant, helping you to account for your life. God bless, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the Healthy Accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.